All right, indeed, indeed. Just got in very dry here. I have thoroughly read your letter twice. It has rained all the way up till August, which is pretty rare, at least in my 20 years. It's one of the greener season summers we've ever had. Even the feral grasses are surviving with a little bit of green. Um, yeah, it wouldn't be nice to be in Hawaii. Yeah, I'll go with you. I'll be your Darlene and sleep on the floor and just demand a $1,000 ticket for me. Asian women are friendly. Yeah, I agree. I'm not attracted to them so much, but I agree they're friendly. They're demure. That's part of their culture, accepting. I mean, they come over here and marry total goofs on the basis of a contract. So they walk behind. I've seen some Asian women walking behind their men, which, that's part of the submissiveness. And, yeah, I don't think a man's beauty, money, and power are quite as important to them. They want to escape poverty. You liked my interaction with the last blog. All right, well, you're going to get some more interaction on this one. Position on Amy's fiduciary responsibilities of whatever dollar amount remains. I'm pissed. I've waited for 3 years to take improv classes, voice lessons, script writing, short story, and novel writing. And guess what's available? You hit it. All 4 or 5 of my highest interest are being given in courses that I can go to. And so we're talking about $1,000 for everything. And I'm mad as hell. I'm pissed off. I think it's insane too. Absolutely insane. Do I think God is tracking my attendance? Yeah, I do. I think a God is big enough to create a little human baby coming out of a mother's womb is big enough to create concern over what I do with that baby and guide me in how to raise that child. And hopefully it's not 3 times a week with suit and tie in a Baptist church, because that would be hell on earth to me. She, have you become a feminist? Has much to worry about in the multi-star system conflicts many light years away coming to Earth. Perhaps. I think it would be insane for God to create a multi-light year star system and not to have other life on Earth. So I believe in other life on Earth that's far, far advanced from our life. But all I can do is be a human being for another 15 years. And have I exchanged Auschwitz for another death camp? No. I said going into today was kind of a make it or break it day for me, to be honest with you. I missed a couple of masses, and I went last week early in the morning, and I was either going to rededicate myself to going, or that was going to be a 3-month sabbatical. And a couple miracles actually happened, and I'm going to keep going. So compare and contrast Roman Catholic Church to Wheaton College. Very interesting. The Roman Catholic Church is very different than Wheaton College. And this may sound weird, but I found the Roman Catholic Church less scrupulous for me, and Wheaton College much more structured, with 4 attendings of Mass a week or 4 attendings of chapel a week, and then near mandatory attendance of church and Sunday school, then taking Old Testament and New Testament at the same time. That was insane, and no wise counsel stepped in. My attitude now is basically going to continue. If I feel worse leaving the building than when I went into the building, then don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. But Bernadette just said something very encouraging, that I looked much younger and happier and content and at peace after spending a half an hour in Catholic church. So far, pray God, cross fingers, whatever you believe, it's going to keep going like it's going. And I will continue. As far as the priest taking money and the bottle of wine that you got him at the corner drugstore to absolve you of all sins, I don't think that's the way it works, but you might find a liberal priest who would be willing to do that. I know you'd find a liberal priest who would be willing to talk to you, and I bet he takes confession over 100 Hail Marys. I haven't run into that attitude at all in confession. I've been in there a long time, and priests have been very cool, a little too stoic even for my taste. So that is not my ticket into heaven. My ticket into heaven remains to be faith. Quite frankly, I would not let the door hit me on my ass on the way out indefinitely. No, I'm not going to do that, because I've seen too much over the last 28 years since Auschwitz, and I don't see the same thing happening again, ever. And can I accept the premise that God is merely an ancient astronaut? No. God is a creator. He's not a participator. He's a creator in the creation of the universe. He's not an astronaut flying to the moon. If you believe in a creator of the universe, he's so beyond that it's ridiculous to even compare. No offense. Started watching Richard Crowe as a movie. Noah, yeah, I didn't think he was going to be impressed. I knew it was going to be Hollywood version, and with lots of high expense special effects. Definitely a British style. British style is actually cheaper. I've heard more than once a British actor say every movie we make is an independent movie. So I like British movies. You do disagree with my stance on Israel. I think, Trent, you are a little bit naive and misinformed. The Palestinians are basically locked into a cage, and they have been brutalized for months and years with this. They're lobbing bombs. They don't have bombs. They don't have rockets to lob into Tel Aviv. And show me the damage in Tel Aviv, because the Palestinians are children bodies are piling up to stinking, rotting hell. And you show me that from the Israeli side, and I'll believe it. If the Patriot missiles worked at all, then with the United States $50 billion, I'm sure we've got a few Patriot missiles that will shoot these down. George W. Sr. at one time claimed that these were 90% effective, and later admitted that wasn't true at all. So with $50 million, not really my tax money because I've been too sick to work, but let's just say Mike's, and God, we got to go up to Matty. Matty's the highest taxpayer now with his millions in taxes. I don't think that he would like his $50 billion tax going into killing children in a tiny pen. Why are there tunnels? Because that's the only way they can get out. And why? I heard an analogy, and that was that the Hamas is throwing toothpicks, and Israel has a full-on army with mandatory service in the military for men and women. Israel has full-on armaments, including nuclear armaments, including the devastation that could utterly destroy with a single bomb 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times what Hamas could do with all these so-called missiles they're lobbing in. So there you got the feeling. You really need to educate yourself on how these people are treated right now in the cage that they're locked in. They are locked in a cage, and the the only way out is Hamas. They don't have an army. This is the only way of expressing themselves that they have. Do I agree with terrorism? No. I saw Sean Hannity repeat again and again, very rudely to a guest, is Hamas a terrorist? Is Hamas a terrorist? And I don't think they're terrorists. I think they're a poor group of wretchedly sick, defeated Palestinians living in savage conditions, now being blown up by the Israelis. If the U.S. or Canada or Mexico were to launch missiles at our cities, we would strike back. Of course we would. We went all the way over to Iraq and created shock and awe just because we didn't like their sovereign leader. And yeah, we would do it. And the analogy more to me is Guantanamo Bay and the United States. If Guantanamo Bay started launching any kind of missile they would imagine, would the United States attack? Yes. And I don't think they would attack as viciously this tiny group where dozens of people have already committed suicide. A refugee camp, a Palestinian refugee camp being bombed, literally. Now that, and this business about hiding weapons, they don't have weapons to hide in houses. They don't exist. They don't have the sophisticated army. They don't have the weaponry. They're not getting $50 billion from us. So we have to man up and say, we're giving you $50 billion, and tacitly approving by some, all out approving by all your Rush Limbaughs, Sean Hannitys, all your nuts on the right are all out approving this. I mean, all your nuts on the left are all out approving this. So Israel is a democracy. Well, Great Britain had a great deal to do with fucking up what's happening today at the end of World War II. And why isn't it a two-state contingency? Because Israel won't allow it. And they say, well, what about the 6-Day War? What about the 41 War? They're simply out to destroy them. Well, then at this level, at this time, those same conditions don't exist. So that's my blog for today. Like it or leave it. Bye. Enjoy your hikes.